final live Twin Flames Q&A. This is part 3. Of course, I'm Shaleia.
And my name is Jeff.
All right. So I think we're going to get right into it. We have Contessa and Jason here. We have Gregory here. And we have the lovely Fabian here from twinflamesmastery.com. And right, so I guess we'll just get right into the question.
So the purpose of this is we've got a list of all your questions from the event page, and there's lots of them. I'm sure we won't get to all of them, but
you never know. We just might.
Maybe we're going to answer as many as we can, and the 4 units here will answer them as best as we can, fully, completely, and with love. So without further ado, let's get to the first question.
Okay, so the first question is by Amanda, and she asks, could you talk about twin flame purpose and the different ways this can manifest? Also, what are some ways to be on purpose even if someone is not yet in harmonious union with their twin flame or has not met them yet? Awesome question.
What do you think, Jason and Contessa? Can you talk about twin flame purpose? And we just had a grade 2 of Ascension School talking a bit about this on yesterday. So where are you guys at with your twin flame purpose, and what can you tell Amanda about what it's like to be beginning your twin flame purpose now? Just getting started.
Well, just getting started. It's still just finding out what God's purposes for you and listening to God.
Yeah.
And so, like you've said, even if I'm going down one path, if God says, oh, I've told you to go that way, but you need to turn left, then you stop and you turn left. So it just kind of roll with the punches and do the next right action. So
yeah, can you tell us a little bit about what that's like in your experience right now?
Right now, we're still kind of not sure where we're going to live.
Yeah,
so
you're home together.
Yeah,
right?
We understand, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So trying to find a home. We thought that the farm was the place, but if it's not, we'll find a new place.
Right. So even, finding a home is part of your purpose, right? And that's part of laying the foundation. So for us, it was about laying all the pieces of the foundation for our union so that it could support the fullness of our purpose.
Right.
And what Jason and Contessa are talking about is exploring their twin flame purpose right now is exploring the depth and the strength of their foundation so that it can hold the weight of their union so they can express fully their twin flame purpose together.
Right. And I think a big part of this is having trust, or that's the big test, is trusting the process that what got you into your harmonious union is also going to bring you into your twin flame life purpose. And of course that's also going to mean being supported in your home, and creating the right home environment for you guys in order to really spread your wings and fly with your purpose.
Beautiful.
Right.
So there's a second part of this question. I kind of want to direct it to Fabian and Gregory.
Do you want me to read the second part?
Yeah. Fabian, if you could take this first.
What are some ways to be on purpose, even if someone is not yet in harmonious union with their twin flame or has not met them yet?
Yeah. What do you think, Fabian?
Well, actually, I'm living my purpose, or starting with my purpose, already without being in harmonious union with my twin flame.
Yeah.
So what I was doing is that I followed the call in my heart. It's like I always knew and felt when I went to school and to university that there's something for me to do that has to do with being of service, with sharing my gifts with everyone.
Yeah.
I was never for a 9-to-5 job or something like that, because there was something else. And so I started working with you guys, and you helped me into my purpose.
Yeah.
And you helped me to reveal what my heart is calling me to do. And I would say that it is very natural for us to live our purpose because that's who we are,
Yeah.
Right.
It's also like, it's our passion. It's doing what we do anyway all the time
Yeah.
throughout the day, but doing it in a more professional manner, I would say.
Yeah. So really refining what you do naturally and doing it, giving it as a gift that you can give and be supported in. So by professional, I think you're meaning also being able to get paid doing it at such a level that you can ask money in return for it.
Yeah, absolutely, because you put so much energy out there for everyone, and it is needed for you to receive a lot of energy back.
Right. So that you can support yourself in giving that energy, because without that support, you can't give. And that's why we appreciate so much when people come to our school, or they pay for our services, they buy our book, they buy our courses. This supports us and our work. Some people choose to donate just directly. This supports our work and allows us to get this work out there even more.
Right.
And the more that we give, the more we need to receive, and the more we receive, the more we're able to give. And
it's a true symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
Like as much sunshine as a plant receives and water, then obviously the growth is going to be very positive and a high quality harvest. Same is true for people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And in our experience, God never asks us to give more than we're given back by love itself, right? Yeah. It's always a balance maintained. And God never asks us to give to ourselves without knowing that He's going to give back to us so that we can continue in a balanced way, right? It's always balanced.
Yeah, right. And money is like an equivalent to energy on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So, Gregory, can maybe read in the question one more time, just for maybe people just checking in here?
So the question was, how can, actually I will pull it up here.
Mm-hmm.
What are some ways to be on purpose, even if someone is not yet in harmonious union with their twin flame or has not met them yet? So how can you be on purpose, regardless?
For me, I found that when I'm working now towards getting into my harmonious union, that I had to come to learn that my relationship with God didn't stop. And so with that being the case that means trusting Him. That means doesn't stop what I'm doing currently in my day-to-day life. That means just go forward with fuller force and fuller trust and a fuller knowing.
Yeah.
So whether that is in me growing my relationship with God on setting intention, like me personally, whether that is to go out there and have whatever business meeting, or to have this happen, or to go about my day on that, instead of putting that separation in between. Now I'm just doing my job by myself. I'm doing my job now with God. So I'm creating that purpose and that intention on a day-to-day basis and going forward and developing that relationship, because that's going to lead me into my harmonious union. So if I have a task in front of me, it was the purpose and the intention of now doing it with God, so that way it can be more complete.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly what Contessa was saying about how do you live your twin flame purpose in harmonious union.
Right.
It's the exact same answer as how do you live your purpose, your twin flame purpose, before you even know your twin flame. All the same thing. Each step of the way, all the way, you're doing it with God.
Right.
Yeah, beautiful. So let's keep them coming. We got more questions, lots of them.
Well, aren't we going to answer this question ourselves?
I think that was satisfying.
Are you sure? No.
All right, go ahead.
We gotta. There's still more to talk about. I mean, twin flame purpose is like a big.
You got it. Go.
It's a big thing, right? So the first part was, could you talk about twin flame purpose and the different ways this can manifest? So I think the part about how it can manifest really depends on what you feel is in your heart that desires to be expressed, and also looking at your skills, your educational background, what interests you, and your own spiritual and divine gifts. Usually as children, we kind of already know in many respects, like, what is it that we want to do when we want to grow up, like in our heart, like there's like this knowing, like, what you kind of wanted to be when you were a kid. And it could have been many things, and that's okay, because I think the way that the world is manifesting and has always manifested is, you know, like a job can be created in like an instant, you know,
Right.
like what didn't exist like 10, 20, 100 years ago can now exist. I mean, computers have just proven that. I mean, so many jobs around computers, but before, when a computer wasn't, you know, when it didn't exist, well, obviously there's nothing going on there. But it's really obvious that, you know, when you come together with your twin flame, you start to kind of put those pieces together. You're like, wow, you know, I have this to offer, you have this to offer. They really complement each other well. What can we do that can serve others? Because the biggest point of the biggest piece and point of twin flame union that we have come to recognize is that this love that we have is not just for us alone, like Jeff and I, or anyone who enters harmonious union. I mean, you can stay there for a while and that's okay and fine. And definitely there's an integration period. Like we hung out in harmonious union for a little while before we decided to teach it and share it with others. But that love that you share with your twin is true divine love. And that's the gift that the world is calling for right now. And everyone watching this, whenever and wherever you are, know that in your heart of hearts, there's a huge calling on this planet for twin flame union, harmonious twin flame union, and true divine love. It wouldn't happen at this period of time if there wasn't a true calling and a need for it. And the truth is that, like, in all of creation, like the clear majority of all creation everywhere is in perfect union with their twin flame. And that's like one step beyond harmonious union, which, you know, here we say harmonious union because there is a duality consciousness. There is a separation consciousness that permeates the blueprint of the planet at this time. And that's why, you know, all these spiritual teachers and ascended masters of the past and the present have come to share their teaching of love and God and unity and, you know, all the things that the major religions and spiritualities really point to at the core. So, yeah, I mean, the greatest healer is love. And I think a lot of people, whether or not they realize it, are actually being called to do twin flame work, specifically when they reach harmonious union, and also people who are on the path to true harmonious union, which is really a pathway to oneness with God. And if you are a true spiritual student, then you do have an authority in many respects on teaching the subject. And because this is what you're learning, what you're attaining, like Jeff and I, we are now learning and attaining perfect union, but like the majority of creation is in. It's a very weird thing that's happening on Earth. It's like we're a true minority here. Like it's like unheard of in creation to not be in union with your twin flame and perfectly, you know. So you'll see as you're, you know, as you move forward on your journey, on your spiritual journey, what your purpose is and how it manifests. I think what it really comes down to is just listening to your heart and asking God to lead you every step of the way, and to not be afraid to step into your true life's purpose and calling, because I feel and I do believe that the more you put it off, the more you're going to get like the good old kick in the butt, and you can put it off until even the day you die. But when you die and you have your life review, they'll be like, well, what did you give to God? Did you live your life purpose? Did you live your design as God designed you to? You have the power of free will to choose to say yes or no. And if it was a no, well, welcome back to Earth. Try again, you know? So, I mean, it's a learning process. You can learn it now, or you can hold off and learn it later. But I think truthfully, the sooner you learn it, learn to live your purpose and choose that, the better you are off, and the better creation is off, and the happier you are, and the more we get to experience heaven on earth. So I hope that kind of answered the question. I'm gonna, so Right. I think I covered most of it for now.
For sure.
That's what we're teaching in our grade 2 classes is Twin Flame Life Purpose work. It's very beautiful and awesome.
And you can join too if you graduate grade 1.
Oh yeah, come join.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll move on to the next question. I don't know why I put my phone down. The next question is by Yvonne, and she asks, I feel like I'm moving into union with my twin flame these days. I feel like we're both ready to unite. However, as a matter of fact, I don't have a clue where he's at. If he's still with his wife, if he has told her he wants to move on, etc. Is it possible I feel this so clearly without having any hard facts to back it up? Have any of you guys felt this too when uniting?
I want to direct that one to Jason and Contessa. What do you guys think?
Well, we didn't unite in that way exactly, but I was married when we got together. So you have to answer this.
Yeah, it's interesting. The connection and the love that's there kind of goes beyond the legal and social physical paradigms that most people get stuck up in and caught up in this existence and time. But yeah, it's totally understandable because it is so much more spiritual and so deeper that if you're getting yourself clear and you're getting yourself right and spiritually your practice is building, you're going to start entering in that alignment and coming into alignment with your true purpose and God's true purpose for you in your life. So you're preparing that space and getting that space ready so that whatever arises or whenever it comes up, you're ready for that.
Absolutely.
I want to answer this a little further.
Go ahead.
You know, it's not about what they're doing, right? And we'll say this again and 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 again. It doesn't matter what they're doing. It doesn't matter whether they're married or single or running around naked across the football field or holding down a job or not, or kids, or none of this external stuff holds any weight or bearing whatsoever. So you want to take your attention and put it back within your own life. And simply surrender all the rest of that to God, because it's truly, completely meaningless. It's one of the first things A Course in Miracles will teach you is look around. Nothing has any meaning,
right,
except for the meaning I give to it. And the meaning I give to it is meaningless without the meaning that God has for it.
Right.
So it's teaching you to see things through God's eyes. And it doesn't matter whether he's married or not, or whether he's ready or not. It only matters whether you are.
How you feel, right?
How you feel,
you're
where
at.
God is guiding your twin flame journey. And God is not guiding your twin flame journey to concern yourself with what he's doing. God never will.
Right, that's external. I mean, you really can know how your twin flame is doing by how you feel on the inner. Because that's where you're always connected with your twin flame. It doesn't matter what the external looks like. But you always know what your internal feels like. And because you're one at the core, you can easily tune in and see like where he's at. And if you're making the core choice, to like move into your union, then naturally he is too. So that's kind of the best way to answer this, is how you can really tune in to where you are at in your journey and how your twin flame feels. And of course, like they are still their own unique being, and they're going to have their own unique challenges on their own journey. But at the core, you can always know where you are and where you both are feeling on your spiritual path and journey into your union. So yeah, should we move on to the next question? Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, it's by Yvonne again. To the twin who found out about the twin flame approach second, I don't know if I can answer this one. What was your reaction when you first heard of it? Did you ever think your twin was out of his mind? Did it make you back off from him, or did it draw you closer? I
think Jason and Contessa might be able to answer this.
I have no idea what that means.
So Jason and Contessa, which of the two of you learned about twin flames first?
I did.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You learned first, Contessa,
Yes.
and you had to talk about twin flames to Jason for the first time.
Yes.
Okay, so Jason, what was it like for you to hear about twin flames from Contessa for the first time?
It was an interesting concept initially. I didn't know enough about it or understand enough about the concept to really much about what she was talking about. I mean, it sounded beautiful and awesome, but didn't really understand the depths of it, and we hadn't really even gotten honest with what we were yet at that point.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, I saw it as a very beautiful thing, but not anything that I could directly relate to at that point.
Did you feel threatened by her telling you that, discussing the twin flame concept with you?
No, I can't say that I haven't ever felt comfortable talking with her.
That's beautiful.
I mean, throughout all the times, we've always felt comfortable talking, I think.
That's beautiful. I think that a lot of people who know the twin flame concept and want to share it with their twin flame, they don't know, they think that their twin flame is going to be hostile toward it, or they're going to not accept it, or they're going to feel threatened by it, right? But, you hear from Jason's mouth, it's beautiful. I had heard about the twin flame concept before, and before we had talked about it, and, I always knew there was a one and only for me.
I knew that too.
And Shaleia really discussed it in more depth, the concept of twin flames to me before, we got together.
Right.
And we wondered if we were twin flames. And actually, when we discussed the topic, I was like, well, I really just want my twin flame. I'm not sure why I'm dealing with you if I have a twin flame out there or something like that.
I think partly why it was easy for me to talk to Jeff initially about like the twin flame concept and that I believed we were twin flames, just because he was spiritually open just in general. And just because he didn't hear the concept, it doesn't mean he was going to be close to it, especially since we were already developing a connection in our relationship at the very early stages where, I was asking questions and probing and about like spirituality, because this is a place where I was really close and important to my heart is, my relationship with God and my spirituality and my spiritual beliefs. And I wasn't ever going to partner with someone who couldn't really align or resonate with me spiritually. So, as we got to know each other, I'm like, oh, he's actually really open. And, our first Skype meeting was really me giving him a card reading because he wanted a card reading and I offered it. And he said it was like the best card reading of his life, and it like helped resolve like a core issue he was experiencing in his life. And so that was like a huge indicator for me. I'm like, later down the line, I'm like, I can definitely approach him about the twin flame concept if he's really open spiritually to all the other stuff.
So did you know like right away that I might be your twin flame?
Oh yeah.
That conversation.
Oh yeah, I knew. Like after our first Skype meeting when I gave you the reading and just our conversation, and I don't think one of our webcams wasn't working. It was either your webcam.
My webcam. I didn't even have the webcam.
It was almost really creepy. I'm like, I can't see him. I'm giving this guy a reading. I've seen him on Facebook and he's very cute, but I just knew after that conversation. I'm like, and it was just the day before Valentine's Day too.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling, but of course I waited to see.
Yeah. And then we found out for sure once we were in each other's presence.
Oh yeah, it was all confirmed.
Yeah. So next question.
Okay, so the next question is.
I think you missed some at the bottom there, like under Amanda's.
No, I'm handling this here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so Patricia asks, I don't really know if this has anything to do with twin flames, but lately, let's say this past year, I have been experiencing a whole lot of synchronicity with numbers, like constantly seeing 1111, 1313, 2323, and 1818, and have huge energy flashes. Like one moment, I'm supercharged, happy, and communicating with angels, and the next, I'm just empty, tired, and closed off to anything spiritual. Do you know what this is or means?
Gregory, do you want to field this one?
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
What this means is what's actually happening is that you're actually getting guidance right now that you are embarking on a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
So if you necessarily don't happen to have a day-to-day life, as far as whether that's connecting with a specific spiritual practice or a spiritual source, what it's doing is it's using something that we all are aware of, and that's numbers, to try to communicate with you. So when you see 1111, when you see 1818, 2323, or even 1313, those are all master's numbers. Threes are numbers for students. Ones are numbers for union. So when you're seeing a lot of ones and threes and twos, it's telling you that your spirit guides are with you on a particular journey that you're now about to embark on, and that you should try to explore it a little bit further. So for me, when I was getting into a lot of my twin flame journey, I experienced those exact same synchronicities as far as the 1111. And that is just telling you, and it's guiding you, that and letting you know that you are being guided on your journey if you are desiring and you're choosing to embark on your twin flame journey. Right. And that it's saying we're all around you at all times. So you're guided and protected. So just trust us.
Nice little psychic benefit.
I like that.
Reading for this person too.
Mini psychic
so,
reading.
Gregory, can you talk to the other part of the question where she was like, why is it turning on and off? Why do sometimes I get a lot of it and why do sometimes I get nothing?
From my experience, what that is, it's our capacity. Whether or not we have grown ourselves in such a way in which where we've allowed kind of like an unconditional communication. And so we have set up some time. So whether or not in your spiritual practice you have set up only specific times that you allow yourself to receive information, you allow yourself to receive guidance. And so it's going to communicate to you in that exact same manner, where it's only going to come to you at specific times, at specific moments. So I would encourage you to kind of look at whether or not you're being conditional with your connection with source energy and with the angels and the guidance that you're around. And if you are being conditional, to work yourself into a way in which where you become a little bit more unconditional, so that way it can guide you fully.
That surrender is important, and it's really important to note that you're not being punished or you're not doing it wrong, and that's not why, right? Like the guidance is stopping or pausing for periods of time. It's because of your willingness to invite that guidance. Like for us, God is guiding us 24/7, nonstop, 365. It never ends. But it wasn't always that way for me. Sometimes I get lots of signs and then I'd have to process it. I couldn't handle it. And I'd reach out. I'm like, where are the more signs? And they weren't there, right? And then when I relaxed, they could come more and more. So the real key here that Gregory is pointing out is it is that unconditional surrender to, God's guidance.
Right. I think for me too, it comes as part of integrating the last set of signs, which is, it's a message, which usually is also a healing and a consciousness upgrade. And so usually I'm like, okay, I'll need a little time. And then, then when I'm done and I'm integrated that, I'm ready for the next. And that's when it comes. Jeff and I, we keep the Doreen Virtue book, Angel Numbers 101. You can get it on Amazon. Or you can get it as an app. We keep it in our car. And so when we see like license plates that really stick out, I'll pull out the book and I'll read the message. And also when you see these significant number patterns come up for you, it could also be indicating what you're thinking is on the right track, or confirming what you're thinking in that moment, or maybe what you're thinking in that moment, needs to have is not quite in alignment. But that's why it's always important to ask God for the correct interpretation of these numbers and these signs and these messages.
And what you can do is sit down at your desk with a pad of paper and write down all the signs that you normally get. For me, it was 13, 14, 11, 17. Those were my main numbers. And so, you can write those down and say, okay, 17. This is what is the correct interpretation for this? And you write it down.
Right.
And then you have, this is what this is when I see this number, right? Or you can do it the other way around and say, all right, when I see these numbers, I want it to mean this, 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 and this, right? You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And you can program
0,
them.
right?
Yeah.
Program all the numbers. There's no, it's no right way to do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So just write them out and find a way that works for you. And, you can have an easy way to have conversations with the universe through numbers. To take it beyond that point, you can learn how to use a pendulum. Search our YouTube channel. We have a video on how to do that.
Right.
We just did a class with grade 2, really refining that to an extraordinarily deep level. So you can have very subtle conversations with God. But,
Yeah.
just be willing to have that conversation in your heart right now. And that guidance never needs to go away.
Right. Exactly.
So I'll go on to the next question, unless you got some
Okay.
more to say.
No, there's just a few more questions here left. So the next question is by, I hope I don't say her name wrong, Leah. And she asks, what is your guys' opinion on Abraham Hicks?
Ooh.
Good question. I like that one. A lot of us here watch and know or have heard of Abraham Hicks and the law of attraction. So who wants to answer this one first? Should we?
I'll answer. I love it. I don't know.
Yeah, we
I'm
had
gonna toss this question.
the books and go
Yeah,
ahead.
when I left my childhood, city and home and life, I flew out to California with a backpack filled with clothes and Cliff Bars, and I had $1,800 in my bank account, and that was it. I had nothing else to my name.
Right.
And I brought one book with me, and it was Ask and It Is Given. I never ended up reading it after the first time I read it, but it was the energy of it that I took with
Oh,
me.
you never read the book?
No, I read it, but
Oh,
I
you
didn't,
read
I didn't
it.
like study it. Like I kind of
I see.
I'm the kind of person who sees material, eats it up, and then processes it for a long time and tries it out, right?
Okay.
So Abraham was one of my major teachers as I was starting my spiritual journey. And even now and then I'll still check back in. Recently, maybe a month, 6 weeks ago, I sat and listened to them for several hours and just drank in the information and just tuned what I've been doing and we've been doing to that and found everything that lines up. And there's nothing out of alignment that I've ever heard Abraham say, not even once.
No,
not even once have I ever heard them say something that's completely out of alignment.
Right.
Now, sometimes the stuff they say is really deep and beautiful, and sometimes it can be pretty shallow, but at the end of the day, it's what you can take from it, because love is speaking through, through Esther. And my understanding of this is that Esther is channeling God, is channeling source, right? Not a group of, I think they've said before, they're a group of highly intelligent beings. It's just God, straight up God, right, that they're channeling.
Right.
And I think that they, that's what Esther got, so she could feel more comfortable with it, and she could wrap her mind around it, and Jerry too, right, when he was there doing it. But
it'll happen perfectly.
Yeah.
I think that what this brings up for a lot of people and triggers a lot of people is, well, can God deceive me? But
but
no.
They're not twin flames. Just something I wanted to add.
Esther and Jerry, no, they're very good soulmates. But they weren't asking for their twin flames in this lifetime.
No,
and that's okay.
So that's all I have to say. I think they're beautiful. You got something to say about Abraham?
Sure. I like Abraham. I mean, I pretty much second everything that Jeff was saying. I mean, I became aware of Abraham from The Secret years ago. And then, of course, I saw the books, and that's when I started. I also had a copy of Ask and It Is Given, and I think Money and the Law of Attraction. I think that's the title of the book. And, I definitely would binge on their videos, and then I'd have to stop because I could only take so much. I'm like, okay, I'm good on Abraham.
It's just the same simple message, right?
Right. And I really appreciate, I really understand their languaging. I really resonate with their teachings, but it's not my master teaching, if that's what this person.
What is your master teaching?
My master teaching, if I could say, from a book perspective, it's really A Course in Miracles.
Yeah.
That was, if we were trapped on a desert island with one book, we would take A Course in Miracles, not even have to think about wouldn't even have to think about it. We could ascend just reading that book and implementing the teachings. Law of Attraction is beautiful, but it's also really meant to introduce the majority of the planet in a much more easier, simpler way. And I think A Course in Miracles is for people who are really ready for it. And the whole planet is not completely ready for it, even though it's here. But Abraham is a lot easier, a lot more
palatable.
gentle, right? And the concepts are very non-denominational. So with A Course in Miracles, it is non-denominational, but it definitely uses what people would consider Christian terminology. But the point of it is to go deeper beyond the terminology and actually hear what is being spoken to.
My master teaching is you.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, of course we are. Yeah. I mean, that's the truth, right? But I guess if we're talking about like something along the lines of Abraham, for me, it's
I'd say
it's A Course in Miracles. Absolutely.
A Course in Miracles mostly through you.
Because I'm teaching it all day long. I'll read it.
I read a little bit.
And then I'll talk about it with Jeff, and I work the lessons and stuff. And a lot of Course in Miracles is what we implement in our work, but also a lot of it is just from our own selves and from being with God and
being with God. Really,
each other.
God is my true teacher, right? And that's how I learned everything.
Me too.
And these books just kind of supported my own individual experience with life, right?
Exactly.
It was just about trying things on into my reality, but most of the stuff I learned was just from direct experience and trial and error and experimentation.
Right.
So I think we can go on to the next question. We got one for Fabian here.
Does anyone else want to answer this? We only have like a couple more questions.
No, we got a bunch of questions. You're missing a lot of them.
No, I'm not.
There were like at least 12.
Nope. No, we're already. Nope. So you want me to go on to the next
let me
one?
see this, please.
Okay, well then.
Those are all questions?
Yeah, we've already answered most of them.
There should be more beneath that. Let me check the
Maybe
group.
it didn't come up on my phone.
So yeah, why don't you ask that?
What do you want me to ask?
Ask the question. And we're getting more questions.
A new question?
So, yeah, look, we got tons of questions.
Oh, weird! It didn't come up on my phone here. Okay, so
yeah, just go for it.
Okay, so I guess we can ask this one. What does it mean if your twin is on a different level spiritually, or if you think you have a higher God awareness at this point in time? How is this possible if you are the same soul?
So maybe we can ask Fabi on that one. I think you're going to have an interesting perspective on this.
Well, my perspective is quite simple on it. I would say that it is not really possible to have a different level of spiritual awareness or mastery than your twin flame, because you are always on the same level. You are not better than your twin flame, and your twin flame is not better than you.
Right.
But it might seem like it is this way. You might see them and say, "Oh, they intimidate me because they are so masterful." But this might be because you have some lack of confidence or something within yourself that they are showing you so that you can heal it.
Yeah.
But in my understanding, the spiritual truth about twin flames is that you are one being and you are always on the same level.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think that's what a lot of people are still struggling with, the separation consciousness of them and their twin flame. And I mean, even now, like as we're in our harmonious union, we're still noticing where we've held thoughts of separation from each other. And, and then like dissolving that and realizing like how one we really are. And there'll be times when I'll completely trip out around Jeff, like I'm on shrooms or something. And I'll literally see in my mind's eye, like one being having an internal conversation amongst two physical people, and I get tripped out and I'm like, I'm done. I usually go for a walk or something. So yeah, Fabian's absolutely right. Like there's no like unawakened twin and awakened twin. You are always at the same level of consciousness as your twin flame. And it doesn't mean that, for instance, if you're aware of twin flames and spiritual and esoteric concepts, and your twin flame isn't, it doesn't mean that they're not spiritual. I mean, I had a lot of esoteric and spiritual knowledge than Jeff when we first met. But true spirituality, our relationship with God was the same, you know, as I mean, like on a level, right? And of course, we have our own individual relationship, but you know, we had the same kind of level of relationship with the divine. So that's what really matters. Like, you know, that's the truth of that. So should we go on to a next question, or do you want to?
Yeah, there's more. We got lots of questions.
Okay. So the next question is, what is the likelihood of a considerable age gap between twins? Is there any currently in union like this? I guess, yeah, a lot of people have that question.
Fabian, what's your age gap with your twin flame?
It's 9 years, so it's
9 years.
Yeah.
That's a considerable age. I think some students are.
What about you, Gregory? What's your age gap, do you know, with your twin?
Yeah, we are, I believe, 11 months, 12 months, 13 months, about a year or so.
Very,
Okay,
very small.
very good. We're 2.5 years. What about you, Jason and Contessa? What's your age gap?
1 month.
1 month? Oh my gosh.
All right.
Our firstborn children are also 1 month apart.
Oh my gosh.
Good job, guys.
Gosh.
Way to twin it up.
Really? The hardest age gap that we've seen is 19 years.
19 years is
in
the
our,
most
in our school.
In our school, yeah.
Someone else is like 11 years or so.
Something.
So
yeah. It's fine.
We had this discussion in Twin Flame Ascension School's group. Is basically like, time is an illusion. It doesn't matter.
Right.
So what are the chances? You won't know until you get there, and that's for you to find out. And
right, like it doesn't really matter because your souls are the same age. You know, I think it's once again about transcending the external, the exterior, and going and living straight from your internal and inner experience.
It's never going to show up.
Right. It's never going to be an
listen,
issue.
Please. No,
Go ahead.
listen, please.
Go ahead.
It's never going to show up that, you're 25 and your twin flame is some 12-year-old. Like, it's never going to be this egregious, like, illegal, like, gross thing for you. But it might be uncomfortable if, she's 65 and you're, 50. Or the other way around, or, it might be something for you to work with, but it'll never be something that crosses, like
crosses the line.
These lines, right?
Yeah,
like they might, he might be 15 and you're 17, like fine, right? But God's never going to bring it to you in a way. It's never going to happen in a way that it's really inappropriate. That someone's parents would
have a fit.
Bring the police in, right? So don't do anything illegal, and don't worry, you won't have to do anything illegal.
You won't have to,
to be with your twin flame. God never requires you to break the law unless there's some sort of don't worry about it.
There's no even unless. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Yeah. So the next question is,
I do want to talk about this one.
Have Shaleia and Jeff done past life regression to see how you interacted in past lives? What were your situations? That's a cool question.
Yeah, I want to start with this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
When Shaleia and I met, she was telling us about past lives as high priest and priestess, and we tuned into all this, and eventually we learned that, it's just a teaching tool,
It was
right?
a teaching, yeah.
And ultimately, like, the past is not very essential. So past life regression, the purpose of it is, exploring, it's really just to find out who you really are inside.
Right.
And to find patterns of your expression and being, and to heal these patterns.
Right.
But you don't need to go into the past to do that. You go within your heart now. And there might be stories, I was a pilgrim and, this and that happened. I was burned at the stake for being a witch. And whether it's true or not, the pattern is real.
Yeah.
Like I did some past life healings for a while on divine guidance readings. And I had one really interesting reading where, I found the patterns, and it was like one person, had some pattern, and the result of the pattern was they'd have an absurd fear of crops. And it was, for some weird reason in a past life, And they relayed back to me. I was like, Shaleia, I sent it out right. I'm like, Shaleia, this reading was really weird. And she's like, no, you did it right.
You did it right.
You know, I talked to God, you did it right. And they came back like, oh my God, I wonder, I was so afraid of farm fields as a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like really? It's fun and interesting and unique, right? But ultimately, it's not the most powerful tool for healing. And you can use it as an entertainment purpose, but don't hold too strongly to past lives, because it's really not essential. What's essential is what is right now in this moment, the true you that's arising.
Your state of consciousness right now in the present moment is the most important priority in what's arising within you. And I think Jeff is right, just using it as more for entertainment purposes. And, you know, this is our first lifetime on Earth, so we don't have any past lives. So this is all very new to us. But I think for me, before I assumed and felt that I definitely been here on Earth before and I had past lives, because I resonated with being an old soul and being very wise, you know, in my years. But it was just because I'd never been here before. I didn't have to.
Well, and it's just a teaching tool for you to discover who you really are.
And it was a teaching tool, right? And for me to feel like I kind of fit into the spiritual community. Everyone was talking about their past lives, and I'm like, I must have past lives, you know? And so it came up in my Akashic records, so I'm like, past lives, but it was only to like help me integrate being on Earth more.
So this is the next question. This one's for Fabian.
Great.
I've got a direct question.
Oh, sorry.
This one.
Okay.
So does God lie to you? Because God told us we had past lives in Lemuria as high priest and priestess, but it ended up being just a teaching tool. So did God lie to us, Fabian?
It might appear this way on a surface level, but it's all about the deeper meaning of this so-called lie, you know? For example, God is telling you, yes, this person is your true twin flame.
Right.
Then, you know, it might be necessary for you to get into a relationship with this person so that you learn together with this person. And then eventually find out, no, this person is actually a false twin flame.
Yeah, Shaleia, that exact thing happened, right?
I had that same experience. God was like, yup, he is your true twin flame. And I dove in. I like moved in, all that crazy shit, only to find out he wasn't. And I felt like betrayed. I was like, but I like made critical life choices that were really dumb, that painful, you know, and thinking this was my twin. Of course I'm going to live with him. And oh God, but I definitely, if I didn't believe he was my true twin flame, then I never would have gone through the lessons that I needed to acquaint me with my true twin flame. So if I was told that this man wasn't my twin flame, I wouldn't have ever gone for him. I'm like, I'm here for my twin flame, you know? So sometimes that's the purpose, is because we're not open to, like, I was not open into entering a relationship with him unless I knew he was my twin. So God was like, yeah, he's your twin. Go for it. You know, you got to go through it. So I did.
So the real question you're asking is she my twin flame? Is he my twin flame? And God gives you a so-called incorrect answer. God didn't give you the incorrect answer, because you're really asking, how do I, what's the fastest way home to my
deeper
perfect
question
love, right?
is,
and that's the answer, the question that God's always answering, and he's always directing you this way. Yeah, come this way. Right. So for Shaleia and I, about the past lives thing, it was come this way, move through this to arrive at at home.
And part of it is, if you have a belief that's out of alignment, well, God has to work around that belief. Like, for instance, I had a belief that it was kind of bad to be a new soul. You know, like if you're on Earth and you don't have a past life, you must be a new soul, and you're basically a noob, and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm not that. I was not open to hearing the truth that this was my first time, because I had an incorrect understanding of what it is for certain souls like myself and whoever, that this is their first time.
So you get the most complete understanding you can handle in the moment. This goes back to what we were saying earlier about it's about how open you are.
Exactly, how open you are to the truth, to God's vision.
All right, so let's get another question.
Okay, so the next question is, Okay. What does it mean if one has met their twin flame in childhood? Why do some people get to meet their twin flame in childhood, yet one still gets away from another as they grow up? How can you be sure if one is your true twin flame if all you remember about a person is their energy, your love towards them, and how uneasy you felt when you first met them in your childhood?
I think, let's see what Gregory has to say about this.
Sure, yeah.
All right. So, what was the question fully again, so I can?
Yeah, that's fine.
It was saying, what does it mean if someone has met their twin flame in childhood, and why do some people get to meet their twin flame in childhood, yet one still gets away from another as they grow up? So, like, why would you meet your twin flame in childhood only to separate, basically? And what does it mean if you met your twin as a child?
For me, with my particular experience, I've always had this like fun little experience of a little girl that was always crying of some sort. So I was able to introduce myself to my twin flame when I was a child. And one thing that what I've come to understand and know was it was about the journey about getting to your twin flame. It wasn't necessarily about whether or not you guys were going to meet each other when you guys were younger, or when you guys were going to meet each other when you guys get older. For me, as I got there, it was about the journey to the twin flame and understanding that it is the journey to the twin flame that is what the core piece is. So if you have the opportunity to meet your twin flame when you're younger and you still remember that energy and that vibration, it's about the journey about getting back to them. For me, I knew my twin flames energy just because I began to understand my energy. I struggled a little bit with the aspect of the physical being, and so sometimes we also have to understand that people grow up, they mature, their energy changes, that shifts. So you might see or might know that your twin flame is someone that you met when you were a child, but it might just be an energy that you were just being introduced to. So that way, when you do meet your real twin flame, or if they are your true twin flame, that you still remember that energy. So if it is someone that you met when you were a child, you still have that energy that you can remember and go back to. So it's just to remind you that you're not separated.
Right.
Even though you get older, you still have that memory. And so it's just about getting back to and remembering that energy and allowing it to come be expressed.
Nice.
And how that comes about. So I'm not sure if that answered the question.
No, I think it did. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to add that your journey is unique for you.
Right.
And whatever it is that you need to go through, you will. And whatever it is you need to find, you will. Whatever you need to experience, you will, and you are experiencing. You can't possibly get off your spiritual journey.
Right.
You can't possibly miss it or make a mistake or get lost, because you're always here, right? Wherever you are is right where you're supposed to be. And right where you are is the best place to be to move forward and take the next step home.
Right. So, and I think it is most certainly possible for twin flames to meet as children. But I think a lot of the times why perhaps it doesn't actually happen that way is because they're not really supported in being able to come together in harmonious union. And child twin flames, they can come together in harmonious union. Obviously, it's not like romantic or sexual, but they can definitely come together and be in harmony and be friends and be partners, and then that will eventually develop into lovers. And of course, there'll probably be an underlying romantic feeling, maybe not. Well, no, there would be if it was harmonious, but it would never.
I felt romantic.
I did. I had romantic feelings
grade, right?
as a kid. Yeah, I definitely did.
It wasn't sexual.
But right, it wouldn't. It's not inappropriate, right? Children know love and they feel love too. So I think that's why it doesn't really happen, is because if the parents aren't in harmonious union with their own twin flames, then how would it be compassionate for child twin flames to come together
This brings
in that
actually
way.
a question I'd like to ask for Jason and Contessa.
Sure, yeah.
So have you guys started talking to your kids yet about their twin flames and meeting their twin flames yet?
I have.
Nice.
Yeah, we've asked lots of questions about it, but I told them not to be too set on the answers we got because I wasn't sure for them at that time. So
are you sure now?
no, we haven't revisited it yet. So
Why don't we do that right now? Do you want to revisit that real quick?
okay.
Like a little interlude from the Q&A, the questions we're asking. This is, I think, pretty important to delve into, because a lot of people out there, you know, are looking for their twin flames or found their twin flames, or like you know, the few who've actually made it in a harmonious union so far. You can teach this to your children.
Yeah.
And I think that's essential, right? And I want to see, you know, what that's been like for you, and I want to help you further that a little more. And as you guys start to step into your role as twin flame teachers, and you guys start to step into your role into helping people into their harmonious unions, you know, you can start with your kids right now. And I think it could be a few days that it'd be all it take for your kids to manifest the meeting with your twin flame. Be easy. Our dog manifests all kinds of stuff. You know, there's no reason.
He manifests meetings with dogs all the time.
He manifested a dog park trip once. It was just too convenient
It's
to
pretty
pass
funny.
up.
Or he'll manifest baths for himself. It's pretty interesting. Or good upgraded food.
It's funny to watch.
Yeah.
Like so where are you at right now with that, Contessa?
One of my sons says he met his twin flame and in 2nd grade, and she moved away.
Yeah, that's just his belief about love.
Yeah. And then the other one, he says he wants to meet his in Hollywood. So
he wants to control how he's going to meet his.
Yes. Yeah.
So what advice would you have for the first one who thought this twin flame moved away?
Well, I told him that he should be more open-minded and wait and see what happens.
What do you mean by wait? Wait's not a very good word for a kid or anyone really.
Yeah.
I hated wait when I was a kid. All right, why don't you wait? I'm like, God, where's my snack? I want my snack now. So wait, let's try again. What advice would you have for him?
Well, that's what I did tell him.
Well, what advice do you have for him now?
That he can manifest it whenever he is ready. And
you gonna leave it at that, or are you gonna encourage him to manifest his twin flame now?
Oh yeah, I encourage it. I've already told them how to do it and how I did it, and
walk him through it and do it with him.
Done the mirror exercise. No, I didn't do it with him.
So that's what you're missing. I didn't tell you how to do it and say go shoo, have fun. Here's how I did it. I walked you through it. I walked you through every step of the way like a newborn baby.
Yeah.
It was hand holding all the way through. It was not here, go have fun. In grade 2, now that you get it, now it's go do it on your own. Like you understand the mirror exercise. It's go do the mirror exercise. In grade 1, it was this is how you do it. Nope, you want to choose this. Nope, keep going this way. Nope, you turn it the wrong way. Back this way. Lots and lots of direction. And especially your children, they're going to need a lot of direction for this one. Yeah. So let's try again. Little school action here. Mm-hmm. So what advice how can you help your first son into harmonious union? You're meeting his twin flame first step.
Well, I will help him to ask to manifest it, so.
Not getting off this easy. Well, imagine that he's your student, and he is. He's your first student. He's your best student. He's the one who's around you 24/7. He's learning from you. But what you're doing is you're holding back, thinking he doesn't want it, just because he has resistance to it. What would have happened if I treated you the way you're treating him right now? Oh, she's resistant to her twin flame. I think I'll just let her sit in class and I'll say more things. And maybe she'll come around to it someday, right? That's not how it went down. Mm-hmm. I looked at Contessa and I was like, Stop that stupid stuff. You want them or not? You do? Okay. Time to tell him. Time to move forward. This is the next step. This is the next step. This is the next step. So the first thing you want to do is identify where he's at. Where's he at right now?
Okay. Well, they're actually both very for finding their twin flames
They
now.
desire it and they choose their twin flame. Great. So they're on their twin flame journey. What's the biggest block? What are their blocks?
Probably being in homeschool.
Okay, so they think that the circumstances create their reality, right? It's not that they create the circumstances of their reality. So
No, they believe they create the reality.
So they understand they create their reality completely, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so have you invited them to choose to create the experience of meeting their twin flame right now?
They are. I think they're ready.
Yeah, so,
Probably it's just me that has the block.
Yeah,
Because
so how can you clear the block so that you can become a better twin flame teacher, not just for your kids, but for everyone, right? Pretty soon you guys will be, opening your arms to taking on clients and students and doing readings and all that.
Yeah, I think your twinflameharmony.com. That's your awesome.
Yeah, beautiful website.
I love that name.
Yeah, Twin Flames Mastery, Twin Flame Harmony.
Twin Flames Harmony, isn't it?
Singular or plural?
flame, we did Twin Flame Harmony. Yeah.
Oh, Twin Flame Harmony. Okay,
we've
cool.
got plural, twinflamesuniverse.com.
Awesome. That's all good names.
And I'm sure Gregory will have a website sooner or later. So let's finish this up with the child thing and Contessa, and then move on to some more questions. Just a nice little interlude to everyone else's questions.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah.
So, do you have any more blocks to helping your kids meet their twin flame right away?
No.
What would it mean? Would it mean more kids to have to deal with now that they got their twin flame? Oh God, double the kids. Oh crap. This many kids enough. I don't want double the kids running around my house.
And a twin. Oh
gosh.
Yeah.
Right. That might be a block in consciousness. So what benefit is there to your parenting if their twin flames around? How's it going to make it easier on you? Will it?
They'll be moving through their own childhood issues and clearing out their own blocks.
Do you think that they're going to have a whole lot of blocks?
No.
Okay, so
I
they're
don't
not
think
going through major upheaval like you did. It's going to be a lot easier as a kid to do.
It'd be a lot easier.
They got a lot less
lighter.
preconceptions about love and romance and friends and all that. They're open and they're ready.
Yeah. A lot less.
Your trauma doesn't become trauma until much later usually.
Right.
Then you're like, oh God, I wanted something else for my life. And then you realize it was trauma. But as a kid, there shouldn't be very many blocks at all, just yours. Okay, so it benefits you to have them and their twin flame running around because now they have a direction for their life. And now a lot of your parenting is handled because it's clearer, a lot easier.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about, girlfriends or boyfriends and dating with random weirdos. They already got that handled. No, you don't have to pull out the shotgun, Jason. Get off my lawn, Get out of here. Right. So anyway, any more reasons why it wouldn't be right for them to have their twin flame today, tomorrow, this week?
No.
No. So here's a decree that you can give them. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, and this is memorable, and you can repeat it to them when you're ready to take them into this space to claim their twin flame. And you invite your inner child now to do this decree.
Yeah.
Just
I like that.
You can state it. And I'll state the whole thing. You don't have to repeat after me or anything. But so here's the decree. I choose to claim my true twin flame now. I let go of everything and give it to God. I invite God to bring my twin flame to me now in an easy and fun way that I can meet them immediately. And whenever it happens is up to God. And I trust God to provide me all my good, including my true twin flame. And so it is.
So it is. Oh, man.
And so you can, and this is recorded, so you can go back to, an hour and 5 minutes in or so and come back and invite them into that space of love that you know and that you have. And invite them to have the same journey as you, and you can watch and learn from them and their twin flames. That'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so let's.
Yes.
We got 25 more minutes here. Let's get some more questions.
Sure. Okay, so
Let's go up to the top. I think someone's got some new ones up here.
Yeah, let's do that. I didn't realize
I
there's so
told you
many.
there's a lot of
I don't know
questions.
what's going
So
on.
some I think happened after we
Wait.
posted the link. Oh, can we submit questions now?
Yeah, so I'm struggling with figuring out. Oh wait. Someone's trying to join the live conversation. Okay, here it is. I've heard twin.
We already answered that one.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, you said go to the top. So
So
why
here, let me.
don't
can I
I
help?
just pick
Okay,
one?
you pick
Yeah,
one.
because
Sorry.
we already did these ones, so that's why I'm dealing with this. Okay, so does everyone have full-on conversations with God and their soul, or am I crazy? Because I don't really pray to God or meditate to talk to him. I just ask him a question, I hear him answer me, or I'll hear a voice. Am I crazy is the real question. Ha ha.
I want to hear what Fabian has to say, because this is something that Fabian and I, for a long time, have worked on.
Mhm.
Is talking to God, is being a divine channel, right? So,
Right.
what do you have to say to this person, Fabian? We can repeat the question if you need to.
Well, first of all, no, you are not crazy. Communicating with your creator is very natural, and
Yeah.
everyone is doing it.
Everyone's doing it.
Everyone's doing it.
Most of them don't know it, but everyone is doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And there are so many ways you can do it. You can ask the question in your mind. You can talk to God directly in your heart, or you can talk to God through other persons in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even if you see a beautiful bird flying by, it could be a message for you. Or like we said earlier, if you see a lot of numbers and synchronicities, this is all a communication from God for you.
Right.
And of course, there are more advanced tools like oracle cards and a pendulum you can also use.
Right.
Right.
I would highly recommend to practice this.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. And so want to add, like, for me personally, one of the, I do all the above, like what Fabian was saying.
Same.
And on top of that, and when I'm making art, I graduated with honors from photography. So when I'm creating like digital art and photographs, I feel like I'm having a conversation with God. And so like I'll have this feeling in my heart chakra, and then I'm able to interpret that into an image, and I'm talking to God all the way along, or God will give me a vision of what I'd like to create, or what we'd like to create, like in Photoshop or in my camera. And that's another beautiful way that I speak to God. And when I'm done with creating an image, like I just have this huge satisfying energy inside of me. And for me, I look at it almost like a download, like the image was like a download, and a big packet of meaning and information and thoughts and feelings are in that. And it's really cool. Yeah.
For me, you might find this surprising, but I talk to God through video games, and I'm developing my skill and ability, actually desire to become a professional gamer, video game player. And for me, it's about the dance in the video game. In every moment, every little turn, every little thing, every little refined tweak of my play is a conversation with God. And so everything that you do is a conversation with God. Everything that you are, everything you express is your gift to God, your relationship to God, and everything you experience is how you're hearing God speak back to you.
Right.
So it's beautiful. What do you have to say about this, Gregor? How do you talk to God?
Oh, that's a fun question. So mine is actually, it's an ongoing conversation. It actually never stops.
Yeah.
So although right now I'm having, I'm speaking, I am actually communicating with God on what should I say next? Like, what do you want to be communicated? What is it that you want me to express right now for an entire audience to hear? I'm here acting in your presence and authority. When I was first beginning to understand it, I had a very interesting childhood where I see a lot of things happen before me. So whether that was something that was physical or something that's non-physical. And so I had to learn how to develop something really quickly, which what created that sacred space for me because of, just the general abuse that I faced. And so that voice that's in your head that's talking with you, you can trust that it is God. And if you don't trust that voice, you can ask it to prove it yourself to it. So if you're really God, then show me a sign.
Right.
So that way it can just confirm to you that you're not going crazy. I did it all the time, especially when some things were happening in my life as far as like some of the dark paths that I followed. And every single time, just following that path, following that voice that was in my head that was directing me, telling me step by step and word by word on what to say.
Right.
And helps me to get good there.
Remember too that that voice is always peaceful.
Right.
And it always invites peace now, and it never invites you to run away from or feel bad
or fearful.
It never invites you to harm another or to do something that might harm you.
Right.
It always invites you easily and peacefully, one step at a time.
Yeah.
And its words are always kind and loving and peaceful.
Right. That's how you know you're not crazy. If it's aggressive talk and fearful,
anxious,
bad, then like that's something else. That's
or
the
tells
ego.
you to do something in the future or concerns you about the past. It's always about the now, right?
It's always
and sometimes you can be talking to God and then you get a little bit of fearful in there and it sounds like God and you thought it was God, but it wasn't.
Right.
And so it's about always maintaining that connection with that divine presence within.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, beautiful, Gregory. Absolutely beautiful. What about you, Jason, Contessa? How do you talk to God?
I personally have a lot of more meditative practices, yoga practices, kind of try to set some time, but like has been mentioned before, try to keep more of an ongoing flow. I mean, through everything I'm doing, try to make that an ongoing conversation as much as I can.
Yeah, nice. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
We're hearing a common theme here, ongoing conversation.
Ongoing, right. Never ends.
What about you, Contessa? How do you talk to God?
In my mind mostly and through my actions.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe through your food too. True. Everyone through food. I feel God in my food too, and when I eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assuming another question.
Okay, so let's do that. Wait, where am I here? Okay. Down.
Oh, there was one that I really wanted to answer. Here,
okay, yeah, go ahead. You can find it.
Yes, it's live. Okay. Yeah, there's lots of good questions. I know this one's for you, Shaleia.
What? You want me to read it?
Yep.
Do you know of the Greek myth? I may or may not know it. Do you know of the Greek myth pertaining to how humans had 2 faces, 4 arms, and 4 legs, and Zeus became so envious of them that he split them apart? Do you believe this could be true? Okay, I think I heard something about someone, this is some of the original stories of twin flames and stuff.
Zeus thought there was just one sex, and Zeus realized they were so powerful together that he split them into male and female.
Oh, okay. It's been a while since I heard that particular myth.
But do you want to speak to this of that how twin flames maybe were split in the beginning, or do you want to speak to that consciousness?
Yeah, let's talk about that, huh? Mm-hmm. So can you be split from your twin flame? And if it's true that you are split from your twin flame, does that mean that the goal is to merge with your twin flame? Right?
We become Julia.
No, we don't become Julia. So once again, I think this is a kind of this myth is an archaic example of something that humans knew in their heart of hearts, that there was a twin flame, but didn't quite know how to properly express it or understand it completely. There's stories like this, Adam and Eve, and there's so many other examples across religions of this whole splitting off and, the polarities and stuff.
Mhm.
But the truth is that no, every twin flame originates from a soul blueprint, which is the equivalent, spiritually speaking, of physical DNA, human DNA, physical DNA. And your soul is created from that blueprint, from that DNA, and you share that DNA with your twin flame. You share that with soul blueprint from your twin flame. So no, you're not, you come from one blueprint, but the blueprint didn't split off or it didn't merge. It just was, like a seed from an apple. I mean, that seed didn't have to split off to create an apple or anything. It is the apple. It's one with the apple, and we are one with our soul blueprint. And we each have a unique and complementary set of aspects that our soul blueprint is expressing. And we're also complementary because we share the same soul blueprint, but there's no splitting off ever. And a lot of people believe this, and they go into it and they think that it's correct, but it's very
You're gonna merge into one being.
Incorrect, right? So of course, if you think you're split, then you need to merge, but you don't need to merge. There's no merging because you're already created perfect and whole and divine. So if you're already created perfect and whole, why do you need to merge with someone? You don't. That's a separation consciousness.
It's just illustrating, dissolving the separation consciousness.
But right, that's the deeper story, right? Is dissolving that separation
and when
consciousness.
you do that, you come back to your original state of true strength that Zeus feared at the beginning.
Right.
I think we move on to the next question.
Right. Okay. I think we may have answered that one. It was a good one. So
This one, the next one right there.
what is the best way to tell your twin about twin flames if they don't know anything about twin flames and not freak them out? Oh, that's a good one. A lot of people have this question. So who wants to answer it?
I can answer it.
All right.
Yeah,
there
go
we
ahead.
go, Fabian.
Well, let me begin with saying that it is all about your intention. From what kind of space are you coming from when you want to tell your twin flame about the concept of twin flames? Do you want to tell your twin flame about the concept because you are saying like, hey, you and me, we are twin flames and we share this important mission together. So we need to be together now, Like, are you using the concept and this idea to control your twin flame? Or are you just using the concept to connect with your twin flame?
Yeah.
I know Anne in her testimonial spoke directly to that she would try to use some of our concepts to control her twin flame.
Right.
And then she let go of the control and it worked anyway. So keep going.
Yeah, just for those who know, Anne is the first twin flame we brought into harmonious union.
And Katrina, you'll see more of them eventually soon.
Yeah.
So keep going, Fabian.
Actually, I did this as well. I tried it, I told my twin flame, we are twin flames. Let's start our work here. There are people waiting for us. They need our love. Don't do it for me. Do it for the people.
Yeah.
It didn't work because it was not coming from a space of love.
Right.
So
yeah, go ahead.
He responded in the way that, I don't know about this twin flame idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that she knows about the concept and I know that she believes in it.
Yeah.
It was the right thing for me to hear back then.
Right.
So when you are asking now, well, how can I explain my twin flame, what the twin flame concept is? Make sure that you do it in a way that you want to create connection, that you want to deepen the connection with your twin flame.
Yeah.
And what you could say, for example, is to introduce this topic that, hey, do you believe in soulmates?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good, I never thought of that. That's a good way to introduce it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
And then, it starts a conversation. This is just how Shaleia brought it up with me. We just had an open discussion about the concept, and she didn't put it on and start asking me, I think you're my twin flame, or try to get me to commit to some idea. We just had a discussion about it and we let it go.
Yeah.
There was no control from her whatsoever when she introduced the topic.
No, because I was nervous and I didn't, yeah, a part of me was hoping that he would think I'm his twin, but the real intention for me was just to kind of introduce it to him, because I was pretty certain he was my twin.
Mhm.
And so I wanted him to be aware of our connection, or think, but at the same time, I wasn't trying to control. I was just connecting, and I was connecting over something that I personally find very important. And I knew that we have spirituality in common at our core. And so that on some level he'd be open, but I wasn't like pushing it on him, like in the sense of, when are you going to ask me to be your girlfriend?
Yeah,
There
she
was, like,
wasn't
no
using
pressure
it.
there.
She wasn't using it as a tool for leverage to try to get something from me. She just
Right.
shared a cool concept, and I totally resonated with it. It was really fun.
Yeah, it was just a sweet and gentle conversation, not like no pressure.
So, Gregory, what's it like for you? Just starting a relationship with your twin flame, knowing that you're twin flames, and that's how your relationship started.
To be honest, for me, it's one of the. It's kind. So naturally, yeah. I mean, I think it's sometimes getting into here. You think, okay, I'm your twin flame. I know you're my twin flame. Let's just move this on. Let's just jump right into it. Let's skip all of this friendship stuff. Let's move right into the partnership. We have harmonious union. We have to meet in like 3 days. Like, we have a deadline. And so, but for me, it was different because I feel as though that since we both know, we were able to come to the actualization and realization on our own without either one of us really telling each other directly.
Right.
That I feel as though I have to personally move deeper. And this is a block for me, which is a real connection. So although on the surface level, we can know that we're twin flames.
Right.
But for me, it's about going that one step further and going one step deeper and creating that deeper connection outside of just having a title that, okay, it's great that we're twin flames, like, cool, whatever. Like, this is just a normal relationship. It's about that peaceful, divine place, that divine relationship of learning how to communicate to another individual on a more deeper level than what I'm used to. So
too, it's about finding that inner space where this is the person that you've been calling for, right? That's the journey to harmonious union. Right? You're taking the journey to harmonious union, and it doesn't. No one's journey looks the same. But in spiritual truth, it's all the same. You're doing that one thing that we did, that Contessa did, that Anna Katrina did, that Crystal and Daniel did, and you're doing it too. All our students are doing it. That's the journey, right? You see them, that's my twin flame. Great. Whatever relationship there is here, fine. But really, I'm going within myself to find that place in you. And when we meet there, I'm going to commit to you. I'm going to commit to you, and that's harmonious union. And I, invite you to commit to me. And when I know that you've committed to me and I've committed to you, then there's no blocks, and we're healed, and we can begin, our harmonious union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. And I will say that I think it's also important, and I think you guys touched on it, and it's a reminder for me. Just because you guys say that you guys are twin flames doesn't mean you guys know each other. You guys brought up that conversation. In my particular case, we met in Ascension School.
Yeah.
So, I think sometimes it does add that little bit of an extra pressure to like do it. And so for me, I'm facing the not creating another fake interaction because we have to, but because it's something that we want to create.
Shaleia and I, it took me like a year and a half before I finally was like, no, I believe you're my twin flame, and I'm gonna keep making you show me, until I was like, yeah, you really are my twin flame. We're in a harmonious union. Until I really like backtracked and was like, okay,
I think it's
definitely.
Like when I was with Jeff on one of the worst days of his life, and I loved him and held his hand and helped pick up the pieces, and didn't judge him for anything that was going on.
Yeah.
He was like, Oh yeah, you're my twin. You know, I think that's when
Yeah.
it was really confirmed in your heart of hearts that
Yeah.
you know we were real twin flames because you know that kind of bad day that Jeff had. I mean, anyone that was me probably would have booted it.
Yeah.
Would have thought about leaving. Like, okay,
It's too much.
your ship is sinking, and this is bad for me. Call me when you feel better and when you have like your shit together, when it doesn't look like your life is falling apart.
Yeah, but she stuck by me.
But I stuck by him. I was like, hey, through thick or thin, hell or high water, better have good health, bad health,
Or you had something as well when it was very clear that your life might not work out very nicely for you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And so I had to decide whether I'd be with her, whether I'd choose her.
Right.
And we weren't in a position
Yeah.
to do, and we never looked like maybe we'd never be in a position to do anything about it.
Yeah.
And so that was when I really committed to her and said, no, none of that matters to me. I'm with you,
Right.
And so it was a problem. This is what after we hit harmonious union, we committed on this level. We committed to each other, and we're
Deeper.
still going deeper and deeper and deeper. There's always things coming up in our relationship that will test it.
Right.
That will say, are you going to stay, right? And of course, the answer is always resounding yes.
Oh yeah, always.
But these experiences we have that test it deepen our union, deepen our relationship, deepen our experience and love for each other and the trust here. So, there's never going to be a time where it's not tested. There's never going to be a time where, you're not going deeper. There's never going to be a time when you get it.
Right.
You're just always getting more of it. And that's the beautiful thing. So I think we got time for one more quick question.
One quick question. We got 3 minutes left, so I'm just gonna click over here. Let me see.
We answered that one. This is the first question. We can answer that one.
Okay, so last question. If one twin is bisexual, would that make the other twin bisexual too? Or it doesn't necessarily mean that the other has to be bisexual?
Perfect. Why don't we let Gregory answer that one? If one twin is bisexual, does that make the other twin bisexual too?
Not necessarily. What I have come in my particular story is because I grew up believing that I was gay. So that was that my twin flame, he was a man, and that it was going to be a man my entire life. I've had sexual experiences with females before, but never to the regard of, really romantic, deep connection.
Right.
So my experience, I technically am considered to be bi. My twin flame, she is straight by all means. Your sexual orientation, or at least what I've come to know, is really not dependent upon anything. So if you feel as though that you are bi right now, that doesn't mean that is who you are. That is just something that you are doing right now. And I think Jeff, he helped me to understand this a little bit. All your sexual interactions that you have until meeting your twin flame is nothing more than a handshake. Because you're truly just a virgin until you guys come into your guys' union and experience that together.
Right.
And I would encourage you to not label yourself as being gay or being straight or being bi or anything of that nature, because it's not going to do anything but stop you and put a block into your harmonious union.
Nice.
It's about trusting God to deliver the perfect person for you that is designed to be with you. So if your question and your concern is sexuality, understand that you really never had or experienced sex to begin with, and this is just something where you can just explore and have fun.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's something that I'm working forward to, but coming into that understanding that your sexuality is not your identity.
Nice.
It's not who you are at the core.
Yes.
And that can relieve that block for you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Gregory.
What a
Bravo,
perfect
yeah.
question to answer to end the question.
And congratulations on your success with coming to that understanding of yourself. It's brilliant and it's beautiful, and it's so enlightening.
Very divine answer.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And thank you to Jason and Contessa and Fabian as well for being with us tonight. And thank you for everyone who asked questions. And if there was a few we didn't get to, we're very sorry we weren't able to.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of questions answered tonight.
So if you enjoyed this format that Jeff and I have been doing the last 3 weeks, we're going to be offering a new service for you come next week, this time, Wednesday at 7.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, you want to?
I don't know that it's going to be posted Wednesday at 7. We're going to be shooting it Wednesday at 7.
Okay.
So we're going to do Twin Flame Ascension School live, and Gregory and Fabian are going to be part of it, and you're going to meet some new friends there, and you are going to watch and take part as they go on their twin flame journey and make it all the way into harmonious union and graduate. And they will be there live on that day with us, with their twin flame, and you will be there for the ceremony of them coming into their harmonious union.
Right.
And you're going to see students come and go and come and go as they make it into their harmonious union. As they start from wherever they are all the way into harmonious union, we're going to start doing Ascension School recorded.
Yeah.
So the first 3 classes are going to be free to watch, and these students are going to be paying to be in the school like normal, but these brave students are going to be doing it live and recorded. Right. And if you want to be part of the recorded calls with them, reach out to us and let us know. But we're going to be offering this at half the price of Ascension School is right now to watch the recorded.
Right.
And so it's going to be $99 every 4 weeks. And you're going to have unlimited access to all the recordings that we've done and we have, and you'll have unlimited access for all the new ones coming out week after week after week. And we're going to have a wonderful special. If you don't like paying $99 every 4 weeks, you can pay $9.99 and have lifetime access for as long, for all of the videos forever for Twin Flame Ascension School. And whether you can pay or not, we have open right now, Twin Flame Ascension School open forum.
It's a group on Facebook.
It's our Twin Flame group where anyone can go and discuss their real Twin Flame work and their real Twin Flame journey. And we're going to be porting over some of the conversation from our private Twin Flame Ascension School to the live open class. So feel free to join that, whether you decide to subscribe or not.
So I think one of the benefits of joining the recorded calls is that you're really going to get a lot of the answers that you're seeking on your own personal journey. And the difference between this and our free YouTube videos is that we're able to go really deep into doing the actual spiritual work involved to move you into harmonious twin flame union. So you're going to hear Gregory's story, and you're going to hear Fabian's story and their blocks, and we're going to work through those, and you're going to notice that you can relate to them, and that there's something in their story that is for you too.
And so you're going to see this work take action in people's lives week after week. And you're going to notice, your life changing as you're doing this work. And you're going to watch these students evolve and move through the problems of their lives. You're going to see the problem of their life, and you're going to say, oh my gosh, I have that too. Or maybe I can relate, or I can draw from that as well. And you're going to watch them week after week move through them, and new things and challenges will arise, and move through them all the way into their harmonious unions. And you're not going to just see us with one student, you're going to see with many students all the way through.
And even then, there's always something that your heart needs to hear, and it'll hear it.
And you can just try it out for 4 weeks and subscribe and say, this is, what's it like? And you don't have to stay. There's no contractual obligation, right? It's
easy, very easy.
So the final benefit, or another benefit, is being able to feel a part of it, and it's less expensive.
A part of our community,
school, right?
Yeah.
And feel a part of that story, and feel a part of the lives of these brave people who are live, sharing their spiritual story.
And of course, you can ask your own personal questions in the Twin Flame Ascension group anytime.
And we're going to encourage our graduates and our current students who are more advanced to answer these questions. So we're going to get a live community going there for everyone to join.
Yes.
So, and some really awesome shit comes out of my mouth.
I think everyone here can agree that Jeff says some pretty epic shit.
So God really moves through me in Ascension School, much more so than than our videos, even much more
Yeah.
so than our live Q&A, because there's a deep container for this, and there's a deep purpose to it, and you're going to
Right.
see and feel that all the way along. And try the first 3 are going to be free, so you guys, for the next 3
so you
weeks,
get to know.
please join us. So once again, thank you all so much for joining
Thank
us.
you,
What
everyone.
a beautiful Q&A we've had, and we look forward to
Seeing
continuing
you,
the work and seeing
yeah.
you all the way into your harmonious union.
Yeah, so we'll see you in classes, and we'll see you in other videos. Thanks, guys.
All right, you take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.